Welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber Abe. And I have a unique sort of challenge here today. Generally, when I take on a challenge, I want it to be something aspirational. I'm happy to build a deck around a suspicious premise as long as we are trying to play good Magic and win the game. That's usually my line. I tend to not accept things just for the meme because they're silly. But I made a bit of an exception here because there's no excuse for what we're about to do. Abe asked me to play Burn in Legacy, but I have to include 4 copies of Mana Clash. Allow me to read this absolute poo stain of a Magic card to you. 1 red sorcery. You and target opponent each flip a coin. Mana Clash deals 1 damage to each player whose coin comes up tails. Repeat this process until both players' coins come up heads on the same flip. So this would deal somewhere between 0 and infinity damage when you cast it. And generally what you want out of a burn deck is a consistent rate of return on your cards. Like you want to know each of my cards is worth 3 damage, and I'll just have to resolve 7 of them over the course of a game, and then I'll win. But here we go, Mana Clash. Might get nothing out of it. I imagine there's a pretty simple probability matrix of how much you expect to get out of it, which is probably around 3. Smarter people than me are going to eviscerate me in the comments, I'm sure. But that's what my brain is telling me. And you don't know who that 3 damage is going to be dealt to before it stops dealing any damage at all. But there are 4 copies of this card in the deck because that's what Abe asked me to do. And I asked if he wanted me to build around it specifically or just shove it into burn. And he said just shove it into burn. So I didn't do a bunch of like Quark's thumb sort of things that let you manipulate coin flips. The one thing I did do is play 2 copies of Invasion of Regatha. This is a reasonable rate on the front. 3 damage, deals 4 damage to target player or battle, and 1 damage to up to 1 target creature. But the flip side is what we're actually interested in here. 4/4 prowess. If a non-creature source you control would deal damage to a creature, battle, or opponent, it deals that much damage plus 2 instead. This is just one way to break parity on Mana Clash. So every time they lose a coin flip, they take 3 instead of 1. That's a much more exciting thing. Other cards that could be considered here are like Pyromancer's Swath, but I don't really like discarding my hand as a burn deck. And then there was a Saga, where Chapter 3 was your spells deal their damage plus some additional amount, but it was symmetrical, so I didn't want to do that. And there was one from Brothers War, an enchantment that was if an artifact or red source would deal damage, it deals 1 extra damage. But spending 1 red on a permanent that doesn't do any damage on its own didn't feel like where I wanted to be. So Invasion of Regatha is somewhere where I want to be at the end of the day here. Other than that, pretty standard Legacy burn stuff. Goblin Guide, Swift Spears, Eidolons. Fire Blast and Price of Progress are the 2 big cards that Legacy gets that Modern and Pioneer don't. And Pioneer is missing a lot of these pieces, I guess, but Modern Burn's pretty close to Legacy Burn, except you get Fire Blast and Price of Progress. And that's what we're going to do here. That was a solid 4 minutes of me talking about the card Mana Clash in what's otherwise a normal burn deck. Well, let's get after it. Mana Clash, be kind. I'm on the play in round 1, and my hand's actually good, despite the fact it has Mana Clash in it. I'm going to keep. And in we go. The damage is starting. A basic island is what my opponent has for me. Oh, baby. Another Mana Clash. I'm going to Eidolon pre-combat here. And off we go. If they just go Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell, I'm pretty bummed. But if they're any sort of Ponder Brainstorm deck that needs any amount of time to set up, I'm in good shape. Loaded Strand, alright. If they're going to Show and Tell me this turn, they'll at least have to Lotus Petal to do it. Okay, Stoneforge Mystic. That's kind of a huge bummer, because Batterskull is a huge bummer, and the burn spells in my hand don't target. Or at least don't target a creature. They all target something. Okay, let's see what we can make happen here. Alright, I can cast a bunch of spells, including Mana Clash. I'm taking almost as much damage as my opponent is this turn. Welcome to the Eidolon Dome. And this is the hero moment for Mana Clash. It could just straight up kill my opponent. It could do no damage at all. It could kill me. Let's find out together. Oh yeah. Buckle up, nerds. My opponent's over there like, wow, I'm glad that wasn't literally any other card. Because if it was, they would have to block with Stoneforge. Okay, flip the coins. Hit OK to flip the coins. Watch our life totals fall. I dealt 1 to them and 2 to me. What a great friggin' card. Okay. Yeah, if that was a normal burn spell, they would be dead. They'll have a chance, though. This Batterskull doesn't have haste. A normal burn spell off the top is reasonable here. The other Mana Clash delivering the goods gets it done. Their main phase activating the Stoneforge. That puts in the Beaskull, which does not have any ability to attack. Alright, deck, burn spell. Help me out. Uh-oh. Well, we're going to have to win a Mana Clash here. Bang. Moment of truth. Can we get 2 favorable flips out of this thing? Nope. It went to the graveyard, dealing 0 damage. And I've lost the game. Okay, folks, that's what happens when you introduce RNG to your consistent deck. If either or both of those were just chain lightning or some shit, we win that game 1,000 times out of 1,000. But okay, instead we're doing this. Searing Blood, Smash to Smithereens are good. Price of Progress seems bad. They had a lot of basics. Ensnaring Bridge has text, but I don't think that's where I want to be. And maybe this Invasion is pretty slow. I say that like it's a normal thing to say in a game of Legacy. Invasion is pretty slow, is what I'm saying. And I'm boarding out a Mana Clash. Call the cops. There's still too many of them in the deck, but making room for playable cards. Okay, a normal handful of normal cards. Keep it. I will say positively about Mana Clash in the last game that if you want to feel something when you play Magic, that's certainly a way to do it. They just drew a mountain. I undid their mulligan with Goblin Guide. I think I want to lead on Roiling Vortex here and then save Swift Spear and Bolt for the future. There's a Brainstorm. Because if I just Swift Spear Bolt them now, then I end up in the position I was last game where Stoneforge Mystic is just GG. Oh, Spell Pierce. You got me. Solid card. Flooded Strand. Brainstorm. Good chance they're putting this mountain away. Alright, let's light them up. That was a pretty good find off the top as far as Magic cards go. Okay, they're cracking a fetch. They were, for a second, holding onto their fetch, and there's probably a land on top deciding what they wanted to do with the Goblin Guide. They could have just drawn a card here. See what this fetch is about right now. Another Brainstorm. Okay. So if there's a land anywhere in their hand, Goblin Guide's going to draw them a card here, and that's fine. Comes with the territory. Another Swifty. Attack with all my creatures. Stoneforge Mystic on top. Okay. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is not lethal. I can let them Stoneforge and then bolt it next turn. That's probably a better way to use this last spell in my hand. I can play around Spell Pierce, can't play around Hydroblast. Oh, True Name Nemesis. Yeah, there's no playing around that one. Rift Bolt. Okay. I guess I just go upstairs with Rift Bolt and then also bolt them and hope it gets over the finish line. Hardcast. And if they don't have interaction, this is going to work. Stoneforge Mystic still on top of their deck. If they block one of the Swift Spears, then they didn't block Swift Spear, which is probably smart because Swift Spear doesn't die if I have any spell here. And now it's just, Force of Will question mark. Still got a 1 if they have Force of Will, and they didn't, so I guess they're just dead. Okay. Look what happens when we draw burn spells. Wild stuff. I don't think I want the Red Blast. I can go over the top of True Name as we just demonstrated. Red Blast is basically just for show and tell or combo decks that I need to slow down. And back in with the same pile. And full of respectable spells. I'm in. Opponent's on a Malta 6 with an island. Hydro Blast counters whatever they want. I hope they don't have that one. And play Swift Spear, because this one doesn't get spell pierced. They could also Force of Will this, I guess. And I'll make my attack. That's what we do. Apologies if this game was choppy or my audio was weird. My computer was doing weird things on my end, but I can't tell if the recording is going to be affected at this point. And I'm in a live game, so it's not like I can stop and check. Another island. Interesting. They're going to try to trade a Snapcaster in here. Lava Spike. And give them some Spell Pierce targets, I guess. Okay. Spell Pierce works. And I think I'd rather invest a Rift Bolt Suspend, because you can't effectively Spell Pierce that, and it's a good investment for next turn. If they play it to Fairy, it'll freeze the Rift Bolt, which sucks. That's the kind of passive value you really can't afford to give these decks. Alright, this mana doesn't cast a Fairy. It does cast Nemesis. Guess I'm going upstairs till I find another creature. Rift Bolt's coming off Suspend. 3 to the Dome. Goblin Guide, okay. I can push damage here. Lava Spike. This makes Swift Spear too big to block. Well, you can still block it, but you'll take more damage. Now I have kind of an interesting choice of committing Chain Lightning, which makes Swift Spear bigger. Yeah, I think I want to incentivize them to block the thing that doesn't die to their blocker. Like, if they absorb the 4 here instead of killing Goblin Guide, then I have 2 creatures and I can keep pushing damage on the ground. And if they do the opposite, they're at 4. Prismatic Ending revealed. That's kind of scary. You'll need to come up with a white source to cast it, but deck has lots of those in it. And they did do the thing that leaves me with 2 creatures. Let's see if they go land Umezawa's Jite equip attack, because that would be disappointing. They do have the land and don't even have to fetch to get it. That's a life point that could come up big. Clearing my Swift Spear. 2 cards left in hand. Oh, okay. I'm going to suspend Rift Bolt and see what they want to do about that. This plays around all soft permission. They can't Spell Pierce. They can't Snap Spell Pierce. Rift Bolt will come down when I have 3 mana up, and then I can float mana and Fire Blast them. They'll need an actual counter of some variety. And this is part of why I didn't bring in Ensnaring Bridge. If you're doing your job, Ensnaring Bridge is in play anyway. They have True Name Nemesis and can't attack with it. Oh, they're tapping mana. Is this a stifle? What are we doing? Okay, casting Rift Bolt, targeting you. If I can get them under 4, then this Fire Blast just threatens lethal all the time. And if they ever tap low or get 2Q with anything, they just get lit up. There was a old article. I wish I could remember who to credit it to. But it basically said, in the Counterspell versus Lightning Bolt matchup, if your opponent's at 3, the worst thing you can do against an unknown hand is just play off the top, like draw your burn spell, cast it, draw your burn spell, cast it. Because eventually they have to do something. And if they don't do something, you'll eventually have more burn spells in your hand than they will have counter spells. Okay, Prismatic Ending kills Goblin Guide. Now they have 2 cards in their hand, and we're in that spot that I was talking about, where now Force Blue card only counters 1 thing and puts them to 2. If they attack with this True Name, haste creatures are alive. And if I just draw anything that deals 3 damage, or I'll draw more mountains. I am playing out my mountains. I want it to look like I have nothing. Maybe I'll put the shields down or do something risky. But if they have Hydroblast, or if their deck plays actual Counterspell or Dovin's Veto, those are all cards that put them into a dominating position on this board. And I currently have a ton of time to just draw any of the cards that my deck plays. Except these ones, Jesus. The theory I was talking about does assume that you're drawing cards at some point. One line I need to be cognizant of is Swords to Plowshares on their own true name. That does put them out of Fire Blast range. Cheese and rice deck. Are you kidding? I'd even take a Mana Clash here. Come on. I still have many draw steps here, but the damage is adding up. Okay. Now I can make a decision of... I think I am just going to slam this Goblin Guy. Because this one isn't lethal anyway, and if they Force of Will this, just pay 5 to force it. That's a good deal for me. Clears the way for Fire Blast. Hydroblast. Okay. That one out of the way. Now I'm worried about Snapcaster. Maybe I was supposed to Fire Blast in response to Hydroblast when it's not in the graveyard yet, but then I lose to Force of Will. I'm still going to use my life total as a resource here. I get 3 more draw steps before this game is over. I just need 1 or 2 of them to deal 3 damage. Ponder did not shuffle. Okay, a Lightning Bolt in my hand. That's another instant that kills them. Now the plan's starting to come together. I get 2 more draw steps. I may only be able to count on 1 because Snapcaster Mage is lethal, or Brazen Borrower, or any such thing. So let's hope I draw something that deals 3 damage this draw step as well. Another Mountain. I think I'm going to pass again. Because if they Snapcaster, that's a counter spell that's not in their hand anymore. And then we can do the fire thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, they can't cast Cauldra here. Giving myself every possible look to resolve 1 spell this game. Burn spell? Jeez. Okay. Well, moment of truth here. I guess I'm going in their upkeep. Bolt you. Snapcaster is the response that they have. Targeting Hydroblast. I'm going to let them Hydroblast because I don't want to lose to a second Snapcaster, but then I guess the Bolt is still underneath. Soft counters don't matter here. You'd Force a Will, they're still fine. Flusterstorm doesn't get there. Yeah, I'll let the Hydroblast happen on the Bolt. Or at least respond to it on the stack. A float red, sack my tapped mountains. How'd we do? And they do have Force of Will. Yeah, I mean, I drew 8 spells this game and 9 lands. Like, what do you want me to do? So in all seriousness, we did hit an unfortunate run of lands in our 19 land deck, one of which does 2 damage and one of which draws a card. That's right, yeah. Yeah, there's Fiery Islet and Barbarian Ring. Barbarian Ring kills my opponent there. Fiery Islet is at least a redraw. Through 9 of our 17 mountains and none of these cards. In game 1, if Mana Clash was any card, we would have won. It's hard. You can't complain about that. Game 2, we ran into the classic burn deck that drew 9 lands.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io. And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factor's YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play for round 2 against a Yorion strategy. My hand's pretty cool. I'm going to keep it. A lot of spells, but Eidolon is a good card. I'm going to suspend Riftbolt, start there, and pass the turn. That gives away the deck immediately. If I just Mountain Go, it could be Painter or something else, but Riftbolt Go is very obviously burn. Upstairs with this. My opponent appears to be some blue soup version of Yorion, not Death and Taxes. That is the more popular deck right now. Eidolon resolved. Let's hope it's good for 4 damage. Nope, just good for 2 damage. I do have the Invasion and the Mana Clash. If I find land number 3, we're invading. Oh yeah. Invade! The problem with the Invasion in this deck is I struggle to imagine investing 5 damage into flipping the thing. Brainstorm in response. They currently have 69 cards in their deck. Nice. Force Pitching Ponder. Okay. We got 1 damage out of our 3 mana. Please don't have Uro. Oh god, they're cracking lane number 3. Yeah, Uro existing in Legacy is pretty tough for burn decks. I had to make some really deep cuts, or deep digs, to even find a Legacy burn list, and none of them did particularly well. This one I'm playing was like 8th place in some tournament, which is not even a good result. Okay, opponent's at 12. I can cast all of the spells in my hand, and then see what happens. Lightning Bolt you, or I guess I should Mana Clash first. And then see what my burn situation looks like. Here we go. So I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I need 2 damage out of this Mana Clash. We got the WTF LOL in the chat, so we're doing what the deck's supposed to do, which is elicit WTFs. Okay, we both took 1. I took 1. We both took 1. I took 1. You took 1. We both took 1. We both took 1. That was actually insane. That was a really good one. Now I can cast with Spectacle, and Lightning Bolt you, and Fire Blast you. All in. Yeah, Mana Clash! Okay, that one was above expectation and awesome. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath is a card that is likely in my opponent's deck. I have the main deck Roiling Vortexes, which stop life gain. Ensnaring Bridge could stop Uro attack triggers at least, but the front and back of this thing is pretty rough. I don't think I want to Leyline out of respect for that. I don't like it that much. Yeah, I think I'm just going to hit submit and try to get under the Uro or kill them before they find it. We got a 1-lander, but it has Roiling Vortex in it. I'm going to keep. Abundant Growth, okay. Found land number 2, easy game. Mana Clash, baby! Alright, let's just solo my opponent with this. We both took 1. I took 1. It did its expected 3 damage. I guess the expectation is 4 damage. Like 1 to you, 1 to me, 1 to both of us, then get countered. So it did 3 damage out of a spell, which is what you want out of your burn cards, I guess. And a Ponder. Brainstorm, fetch, Ponder. Pretty good turn. We'll deploy my Eidolon here. Cool. Alright, deck. I've drawn the lands that I asked for. Now stop giving them to me, please. I have the correct number. Okay, here's Uro. The thing I most did not want to see. I do have the Roiling Vortex. And they can't quite escape Uro next turn, so I can dance around this Vortex for a little while. That's all they would have to do is fetch and play a Ponder, but that's a bunch of damage. Okay. Invasion of Regatha. I'm trying to suss out interaction here, if they have any. Oh no, if they have Hydroblast now, that puts 2 cards in the graveyard and lets them escape Uro right away. But I wasn't going to get Roiling Vortex through Pyroblast anyway. Or Hydroblast. Built. Okay. And they went after Eidolon with it, not the spell. Probably the correct choice. Oh. It's force pitching another Uro. So 2 counter spells out. And they're betting on Uro here, which is probably a safe bet. But I do have the Vortex. And then I just have to beat a 6/6. That also draws cards, even if it's not gaining life. I don't think we're getting this one. I needed that Mana Clash to do 20. Yeah, opponents just still a whisper away from their starting life total. Full grip of cards. They don't give a shit. Okay, Roiling Vortex. We'll start here. And I am losing to this Uro. I could just bolt it twice. Hate this for me, but I think it's right. If I was a little further ahead or their life total was a little lower, maybe I would ride the lightning on the Uro, but where we are right now, I just need it out of play. Opponent's taunting me in the chat, saying, aren't you an Uro player? You should respect him. Like, I do respect him. I'm dying over here. Oh no, stop. And they pitched 1 to force too, so they're just on a triple Uro draw. It's okay, I'm just playing burn. Okay, now I need to start dealing actual damage to my opponent. Fiery Islet, draw a card. Try to get something going immediately. That's something. Go, go, go. And for 1, can we get it? Am I getting coaddled? What's happening? Oh, we're actually dealing 1. What a pleasant surprise. Okay, no play past the turn. Certainly they don't have Endurance or some card that eats my Swift Spear. And they didn't put Yorion in hand either. That's distressing. All this mana, nowhere to go. Alright, I'm attacking. I can't play around this Endurance forever. If you have it, you have it, whatever. Okay. Get rid of your own graveyard, please. Nope, nobody's graveyard affected. Okay, so I need to draw a Mana Clash and then flash my opponent for 18. I can almost put Yorion in hand and cast it in the same turn. There are 2 cards away from escaping one of these Uros. There goes Yorion. Come on, Mana Clash, get him for 17. Goblin Guide. This is a thing that deals damage. Attacking. Oh, there's a Terminus on top. Good. Speaking of cards I can beat ever. And now they've seen that, so if they have Brainstorm, they could just clear the board now. Then Brainstorm, Terminus, fetch land, get Uro back into play. Towards the Plowshares. Alright, even cleaner. That does gain me some life. In this fake universe where Roiling Vortex is actually a win condition. They shuffled away Terminus. They have correctly identified that their creature's better than mine. And Yorion's in hand. They probably just put the big bird into play. Or Uro's an even bigger bird. To activate Vortex, players can't gain life this turn, or opponents can't gain life. Even better. I thought it was players. They just have to settle for a 6/6 and drawing a card. Versus my board of nothing. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Still not enough, but that's the type of thing that could make it happen. If they get too frisky here, 2, 4, 6, 8. It's currently good for 8. So I need to tread water, chump block Uro a little bit. I guess oh, they didn't even attack with Uro. Fair enough. I will leave my Spear unblocked. I'm at 4. A burn spell could do it. Skewer. So if I go 3, and I could get them for Xaxes here if they have nothing. If their hand somehow has no cards in it at all. Okay, skewer you. They have Yorion and then 4 unknowns. Surely none of them interact in any way. Force a negation. Okay, I'm prepared to pass the turn now. Not quite conceding here. So I guess I probably should, because I'm dead to Roiling Vortex on my turn if they attack with both creatures, which they did not do last turn. Did do it this turn. Activate Vortex, block Uro, see if they put an irresponsible number of lands into play. Block Uro. I'm dying in my upkeep. Play a land, play a land, play a land. Second main, play a land. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I'm 1 short. And dying to my own Vortex. I'm not going to show them the price of progress. I'll just die here. This was closer than I thought it was going to be, honestly. Okay. Is this an Ensnaring Bridge matchup? It does give me a lot of time to figure things out. I don't think I want Leyline. I can't cast it if I draw it, and it has to be in the opener to do anything. Then it's just a stone brick besides. I think on the play, I'm just going to stick with hurling fire at my opponent's face. Mana Clash. We keep hands with Mana Clash in them. But in all seriousness, Lance and Spells. Let's run it. Flash you. In for 20. Come on. I took 1. We both took 1. We both took 1. You took 1. We both took 1. We both took 1. Alright. That spell did 7 damage. It's pretty good. I got a lightning bolt out of it at enormous cost to my own life total. I expect a abundant growth here. Yes, indeed. Alright, how about an Eidolon off the top? Give me some action. Swift Spear, I'll take that one. Swift Spear, nice little 5 damage turn if it resolves. This is a reasonable thing to force, I think. But let's hope they don't. How about no? Force of Will pitching to Fairy Time Reveler is the play. I don't need to cast Lightning Bolt now that my card's been countered. A Ponder. Did not shuffle and then played Flooded Strand. Okay. I'm not going to bolt in the end step. I'm going to save that for some later action. Getting this Invasion of Regatha down. People have been really scared of this card. It has not resolved once yet in this league. And here we go. Force of Negation pitching Force of Will. That is a worse rate than every other card in my deck. Most of my cards deal 3 damage for 1 mana. That deals 4 damage for 3. And everyone's like, nah, you can't have that. No way. And we're immediately getting Uro'd. 3 forces and an Uro. Pretty good turn. Pretty good start of the game. And Roiling Vortex is actually dope here. I do genuinely race Uro in that world. Or at least I have a shot at it. Oh, Fable. Great. That's not an Uro. Don't care. And I drew Roiling Vortex too. Everything's coming up Millhouse. Roiling Vortex. And I am going to Chain Lightning their Dome right now. Or is Dome better than Goblin? Yes, Dome is better than Goblin. I will stick to my job here, which is defeating my opponent. I don't like all the advantage Fable is giving them. But I'm a burn deck. I don't get to like anything. Discarded Leyline Binding, which is an answer to Roiling Vortex. Which means they don't care about Roiling Vortex. Which means I'm going to lose. Prismatic Ending. Okay. I can Lightning Bolt them in response. And that's not really counterable. But, alright. This is just happening. Save my bolt. Draw a card is happening. Chain Lightning, which they can send back, but I can send back again, so they won't. Chain Lightning you. I hope they do send it back. And by kinda, I mean desperately. Important to note that Chain Lightning does flip my battle on its own with 3 mana, because although my opponent controls or defends the battle, I still control it. They are at 6. They have millions of mana. No! Needed them not to gain life for just another turn. Just another spell's worth of time. And this thing can escape next turn. If I don't draw Roiling Vortex, I'm probably dead. Riftbolt, yeah, that would have been 6 damage. Except now it's not, and I'm never beating this Uro. Okay, GG. Lost to an Uro deck like we're supposed to. Mana Clash had nothing to do with that. This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks, and groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there. I'm on the play in round 3. I have been doing well with die rolls if everything else is falling apart. With the busted double Mana Clash start, if each of these does 10, we're set. Look at the art on Mana Clash though. This is just like a 1980s D&D book insert. Wild shit. 7th edition has some of the weirdest art in all of Magic, and this card is real weird also. Let's go. Deal 20. Both took 1. I took 1. I took 1. Bolt me, deal 1 to you. Put my card in the graveyard. Good start. Urza's Saga. Okay. Oh no. Chalice of the Void is not a card I'm ready to battle against. Okay, Swift Spear is dope. I can go Swift Spear and Mana Clash. How much damage are we doing? I took 1. You took 1. Oh, this card sucks. What the hell, Abe? Why would you do this to me? In all seriousness, I don't mind some goofy stuff on the channel. I do get requests once in a while. Really, the only ones that I decline are the ones that are like, LOL, you should play Divine Intervention and try to draw as many games as possible. Like, that doesn't sound fun to me, so no. Oh, we're against an Ad Nauseam deck. That's interesting. Okay. Invasion of Regatha. Yeah, this is not the 8-cast deck I thought I was playing against. And if I attack, they can block, but it will force the action on blocking. They have to tap Ancient Tomb. I am going to attack my opponent. They can block with their 3/3, that's fine. But I will force the action on tapping Ancient Tomb and hope they don't have a Shadow Spear in their main deck. Now they can tap because Mox Opal is on, but it turns off their black for the turn. Or they might just not even make a construct, tutor up LED, and kill me. We'll find out together. Anyway, I was saying, the people who send me a deck that's like, try to draw as many rounds as possible, like, I don't think that's interesting or fun. And this is at least mostly a viable deck in formats. It's just with 4 of Silly card. Ad Nauseam from 8. Let's go. Okay. 7, 5, 4, 3. If they find LED, we lose. 1. Does that kill me? Probably. Yeah. They have used their land drop, but this is plenty of Storm to Tendrils me out. Disappointing. But here's the Wish. Wish gets Tendrils, and Construct is enough to finish it off. Yeah, I mean, if Mana Clash dealt 1 more damage that game, or if these Mana Clashes were Lightning Bolts, we would have won. Imagine that. Smash to Smithereens coming in, Mindbreak Track coming in. Invasion of deal 4 for 3 mana is going out. Mana Clash, I hate you so much. I will even some, because that's the game. Price of Progress is interesting because it does do a ton of damage for what it costs, but also they might reasonably win the game with 0 to 2 lands in play. So I'm not gonna leave in my pops. Escape. Still ended up with a Mana Clash. Can't escape it. Alright, Clash. We're doing it. 1 to everybody, 1 to everybody, 1 to you, 1 to me. Okay, 3 to everybody. That's like Lightning Bolt Skeins. Remember the Skeins from Dissension? I don't think there was a red one, but if there was, that's what it would do. Don't duress me. I'm just a little red deck. What could I do? Oh my god, please echo, please echo, please echo. Without duressing first. What could go wrong? Just a little baby burn deck. Dark Ritual, okay. We're in the Mindbreak Trap zone. Vernal Tutor. I'll pass priority on that because they pass priority on that without cracking LED. They said in chat that they just forgot to hold priority. But that means they have 2 Cabal Therapies in their hand. So they can strip the Mindbreak Trap. Eidolon and the Great Rebel is probably the first name here. That's the card I'd be scared of on 2 mana out of a red deck. Wheel of Misfortune. Oh, that's a good guess. Not a card in this build of my deck. But it is a card I have played in Burn on this channel before. Pithing Needle, DGAF. Oh, wait. Where did all their cards go? Did they just decline, like fail to find off Vernal Tutor? Oh, are Pithing Needle and Cabal Therapy both 1-ofs, and they revealed a card but didn't have another one to search for? Okay, that's interesting. That's not what I thought was happening. Okay. Pithing Needle on Abandon Hope. Yeah, down. I am going to spike. I'll hold on to Lightning Bolt. Getting bobbled. I mean, if they just draw an Echo, they're set up to fire it. Another spike. Where's your Cabal Therapy now? City of Traders. Starting to do stuff. Okay. Swifty. And I am going to send the Bolt and get the extra damage through. The opponent's at 6. And I have a repeatable source of damage now. I'm worried about Urza Saga. Settle. 1 spell. Okay, just dumping out spells to play around Mindbreak Trap. Reasonable decision. I'm not going to play out this mountain. It's going to have you live in fear. Uh-oh. Urza Saga. Really good. This could stabilize this board. Hopefully not quickly, though. Oh my god, if I keep drawing lands again. Well, Saga can be activated with Lotus Petal. If there's a Shadow Spear in the deck, we could genuinely lose this. Smash to Smithereens is my best draw. 1 spell. 2 spells. Oh my god, what is happening? Just activating Saga with Dark Ritual mana. Oh. You know about Mindbreak Trap. Are you giving me this as a gift? Loading for... I'm just gonna Mindbreak the Infernal Tutor. I'm not gonna get cute about trying to Mindbreak what they get with it, because what if they get Urza Saga with it? That's what I'm worried about here. A Construct, and I need to draw Smash to Smithereens or something that deals 4. Fire Blast, Roiling Vortex. That could accidentally kill somebody. And it counters Shadow Spear. Okay. This game is going to end up closer than I ever wanted it to be. I hope they just like draw Lotus Petal and forget to read Roiling Vortex. That's my dream outcome here. Okay, a bunch of big creatures. I think Needle's already in play. So Needle on Roiling Vortex is relevant. Hey, we did it. Whoops. That was my favorite outcome. Okay, now we have to win a game on the draw somehow. And I think my deck is as good as it can be. This is the most I can reasonably hope for out of this situation. No hate cards, just burn spells, and not even particularly good ones. I have to mulligan this. Alright, Mountain Mana Clash Keep. I am bottoming the Mana Clash, unfortunately. All jokes aside. That's obviously the worst card in this hand, by a mile. Opponent's on a Mull to 4, facing down Mindbreak Trap. Hope this is good. It's a lot of damage coming in quick here. They almost have to be on the Saga plan, though LED Echo is only 2 spells. Dark Ritual 1, 2. Okay, this Wishclaw is sitting in play, but not for long. I'm going to smash with Wishclaw Talisman. I think that's the best target for that. And I think that's better than putting in Vortex or adding a Swift Spear. 1 card left in their hand. I'd love to draw a land here. Oh yeah. Land gives me Roiling Vortex, which makes it very hard for them to win. Your deck full of 0 mana spells. Already at 10 life. Okay, off you go. Wishclaw, okay. If there's a path, it's probably involved in that. Come on, some spell, some way to do damage. Okay. Or we can just win fair and square. Turns out when you mulligan and send Mana Clash to the bottom, things work out okay. GG's. Okay, the classic BoshNRoll outcome of 0-4ing a league except beating Storm along the way is live. I hope we win more than that, but we've beaten Storm. Count it.
The Command Tower software by Eminence Gaming is perfect for hosting TCG events. It features easy-to-create event registration for 1v1 and 4-player Swiss structured tournaments. Event management has never been so simple, and it's web-based, so there's no download required. Get access for just $5 at eminence.event/subscribe.
I am on the draw in round 4. I have a creature and some spells, and lands that cast them. My opponent said it's their 5th game of Legacy, and they're playing against one of the big guys. You might be okay here, buddy. Everyone say hi to Dios982, though. Hi, Dios. Welcome to the format. After the flood I've experienced in a couple different games so far, I kind of wish you could just pack your mana base with sack lands, the Horizon lands, like the modern deck does. But we talked about the 2 cards that really make Legacy Burn different than Modern Burn, and those 2 cards are Price of Progress and Fire Blast, both of which don't want you to play all of those cards. Oh, we're playing against lands. Okay. Playing against a Loam strategy. Your 5th game of Legacy straight into a Mox Diamond deck. Kudos to you. I still don't know how to play those. Draw on another mountain. Why not? I'm pretty mad that my opponent's Yavimaya put text onto my textless mountain. Now it has to say basic land, mountain, forest. My lands don't normally have text on them. Stop it. Text? No text. And this could be a steamroll or a reverse steamroll, depending on how fast they go and what their build is like. If they just crap out a Merit Lage, I'm in trouble, which does seem to be the plan. Let's find some way to deal a bunch of damage before then. Fire Blast could help. checking real quick that these lands don't make red. Be really embarrassing to lose my Swift Spear. A 3 to you. I'll send another 6 at you. Unfortunately, I can't Fire Blast here, because then what's my plan for the rest of the game? But they'll be able to block Swift Spear next turn, so not Fire Blasting now actually costs me 1 damage. But if they make a 20/20, it doesn't matter. They're mapping in response. Show me Glacial Chasm. Do something other than Dark Depths, which doesn't make any sense. I'm just hoping that it happens. Oh, Maze of Ith. Interesting. All right. That is tempting now. So I do have a bunch of 3-mana spells in my deck. They're going to 10. I could make it 5. But going for Maze of Ith, I think I'm kind of okay with. And I want to leave my lands in play for now. Because if I Fire Blast for 1 extra point, then draw the invasion of whatever. That's a bad run. I do think they probably just wanted to get Dark Depths here if it's not already in their hand. We know Boseiju, Maze of Ith, 2 mystery cards over there. Oh, okay, it's already in their hand. Never mind. They knew what was going on the whole time. Now I need to find a way to do 6 damage. Oh. That does 6 damage. Okay, so I attack. They go to make their homie. I pop and Fire Blast in response for exactly 10 damage. Easy, always had it. Whatever. Okay, and you have to respond to this activation before the legend rule kicks in. Make sure this resolves. A crop rotation could still beat me here. Whether it rotates away their thing or gets Glacial Chasm to just counter it. But okay, they did not rotate into a basic. They're at 4. Did we get them? Holy moly, Xaxes. And if I had Fire Blasted last turn, I wouldn't have had 2 mana to cast Pop this turn, so pleased with that performance. Okay, they do have artifacts in their deck. They're not really an artifact deck in a traditional kind of sense. Ensnaring Bridge might be necessary versus Merit Lage, because if they just Goldfish me, I lose. Smashes and Ensnaring Bridges. As the league goes on, my tolerance is getting lower for Mana Clash. Should I leave 1 in? Does Roiling Vortex do anything? They could have Shadow Spear, I guess. Invasion does have a pretty high output of damage per card. Eat shit, Mana Clash. I've had enough of you. I'm on a hot streak. I'm not giving it up. I think I am going to cut the Roiling Vortexes, though. I'm trying to think if there's some land that's very obvious that I forgot about. I think I'm just worried about Shadow Spear, but I brought in Smash for that. I'm not bringing in the Graveyard Hate, though it is viable against Loam strategies. I just think I'm going to be faster than their Dredge engine. It occurred to me during sideboarding, and I hope this is received in the spirit that it is given, which is constructive. My opponent could have played around Price of Progress by making the Merit Lage in the main phase. I can't bounce it. I can't interact with it. There's nothing Mono Red can do about it. But you just get yourself out of pop range by main facing it, and then they win. I imagine a Jarvis U of the world would have recognized that. Okay, they're off to a very good land start here. Oh, even better. They're not done yet, folks. My Lava Spike doesn't look so good anymore. I'm still going to cast it, though. Up there. 3 damage. Coming out of my 3 damage theme deck. I'm probably going to leave up Smash next turn rather than play Eidolon. Eidolon just does very little in this matchup at this point. Facing down Saga. Wasteland. How quaint. That does protect them from Price of Progress, though. No second land drop. Exploration's in play. They just went Wasteland go. Kinda hate that. There's a pop, though. A plan is starting to emerge. I'm going to see what they tutor with Saga. If they tutor Shadow Spear, I have to smash that. If they just make some constructs or whatever, I can smash those. I'm not going to get the Expedition map while it's up right now. Based on how last turn went, I suspect they're not going to pop it or use it this turn. They wouldn't play Zuran Orb, would they? Oh my god. Please don't play Zuran Orb. Second expedition map. Okay. That's interesting. Now I can take the pressure off by zapping a construct, and I think that's where this should go. Because if they spend a bunch of time mapping over the next several turns, then if they have to tap out of Wasteland in order to deliver the expedition map card, then that Wasteland's not up for the inevitable pop, which is what I'm going for. Okay. When the land stack misses land drops despite having a terminal exploration, things start to look bright and rosy. I'm going to take my 3 here. They're attacking pre-combat. And if I block, then they can't use expedition map, but then Eidolon can't attack, and the 2 damage I get off my Eidolon attack is worth more than trading with this construct that I don't really care about. Now we'll see where this map goes. Are we going to start setting up Dark Depths? Are we getting Maze of Ith to start soaking up damage? What's the line? Maze of Ith it is. That's a land that does not make mana. Chain Lightning, Lightning Bolt. I could pop them now. They take 6. And then Lightning Bolt. I think I want to save the pop for next turn. If I bolt you now, or if I pop now, yeah, I think I want to Chain Lightning now. I could just play this Eidolon as well. That gives me an attacker for the future. They're going to have to tap Wasteland again if they use this expedition map. Interested if there are any actual burn experts in the chat who want to talk to me about this line, because I think it is reasonable to put them to 2 and say good luck. But then also, they just can't cast spells now. But they might be able to win this game without casting spells. It's actually super tight. Oh, Mox Diamonding yourself to 4. Let's go. I was not expecting them to actually cast a spell this game at all. This makes their construct bigger than my Eidolons, but they haven't had a land in hand so far this game. Did they suddenly draw one and decide discarding it's better than playing it? They can expedition map now while leaving up Wasteland, which would save them some damage, but taking 4 off of playing Mox Diamond is probably... Yeah, that's the same 4 damage that Wasteland saves, so we're in the same spot here. They can't crop rotation to save themselves because Eidolons. Construct is attacking. I can take 3. I plan on dealing 8 to myself with my spells, but this lets me attack. Okay, let's see what we got. Is there a Glacial Chasm or similar that can truly stabilize? Even that's a temporary measure that the second they sack it, I light them up. They did tap the Wasteland to end up doing this, so Mox Diamond, crop rotation kills you. I don't care about Tabernacle, that actually saves me 8 life. Versus Saga, ain't it? Okay. I think we're good here. Okay, I'm going to start with an attack for 4. They'll Maze of Ith one of them, then they will die. I'm kind of tempted to go for the Invasion of Regatha win, but also I would rather for sure win the game than accidentally get BTFO'd by something I hadn't considered. My opponent's at 2. I'll keep the Price of Progress a secret and just bolt them. Don't have to feel bad about losing to pop twice. And we did it. 2-2, somehow playing for a positive record after a rough start. Let's finish it out. For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop, and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out. On the play in the final round with this 5 of a kind, Mountains, in Eidolon of the Great Rebel is the card that would win a game on its own, if there was one. I'm going to keep this, but I know it's risky. But I've also just lost many games straight up to Eidolon of the Great Rebel on the other side of the table. We'll see what's going on. Here's how this game's going to go. They're going to duress me on turn 1. I'm going to lightning bolt them in response. Duress will miss because I only have creatures and lands. Then I play Eidolon and their combo deck doesn't work anymore. GG. On to game 2. Mountain go. Vault of Whispers. Is it happening? Am I getting duressed and then beating them? Probably not with either Spellbomb around. Emery. Okay, well, that's getting lightning bolted. What is this Dimir 8 cast? I don't even know what this deck is. But it's a Chalice of the Void deck, and they do just have an answer to Eidolon of the Great Rebel on the board. But if they use it, it'll take them off Metalcraft. I don't know, we'll see if they even care about it. Thoughtcast, Thought Monitor, they cost more than 3. Okay. They want to take 2 damage rather than bounce this. That's worrisome to me. Yeah, Thoughtcast is cost 1, but mana value's 5, so they don't take damage for that. Jesus. Alright, there's that card. And the draw spells from here on out plan doesn't seem to be working. I think Rift Bolting the Thought Monitor is worth more damage to me over the course of the game. That removes the thing that's in play that answers Eidolon and clocks me back. That costs more than 3. If they do have to settle into some Bauble Dump here, that's going to cost them their Spell Bomb and hurt them a lot. Or they could play Urza's Saga and not cast a spell at all and easily win. And what is this? Chalice on 2. Okay. Interesting choice, but I'll allow it. Oh, they're going to bounce my Eidolon and then make me not recast it. That's the Chalice on 2. Got it. That also turns off Price of Progress, and we just rerolled Thought Monitor. Jeez, what a kicking. This matchup seems horrendous, by the way. And my Turbo Cheese mode out of Price of Progress doesn't work because of Chalice on 2. I think we're about done here. And now the Kappa Cannoneer's coming. Yikes. Yeah, this one's over. See you later. Can't even Chalice check them on Magic Online. So 8 cast is the name of the game here. Searing Blood. Kills Emery. Smash to Smithereens is a no-brainer. Mana Clash, sorry dude. Positive record on the line. You gotta go. And I mean, the fact that they've game 1 Chalice on 2 means they know what this matchup's about, which sucks for me, because Chalice on 2 turns off all my artifact hate. Roiling Vortex is solid. Price of Progress is solid. Okay, the invasion is gone. This is what I'm doing. Hope it works. Okay, this hand, pretty good. Ice Cold to Chalice of the Void, but pretty good against Emery. Opponent kept 7. I'm happy for them. And in for 1. Start the service. Please don't have Chalice on 1. And if you do, at least have the decency to cast it off of Ancient Tomb. Emery, okay. I'm ready for this one. Yeah, I'm going to play Swift Spear and attack with both. Because if they block a Swift Spear, I can bolt them and get an extra damage through. If they don't block, I just bolt Emery before damage, and it's the same thing. Yeah, there's the Emery bolt. Emery's gone. They're at 15. Come on, deck. Keep up the pressure. No more lands. Smash to Smithereens. Bring it home. Saga, go. Okay, Lava Spike. What's up? Spike you. Spike you. And attack you to 3. Dead to anything. Please work. Can't Otawara from the mana they have here. Dismember deals more damage than Swift Spear does. Okay. Just need a spell before this game ends. Anyone at all. Would even take Mana Clash here. I know I boarded them out, but I would take it. Thought Monitor, that's a blocker. And they can make another blocker, so now I actually need a burn spell. Ooh, yuck. Okay, burn spell required. Bobbled me, they see the mountain, they bubble the top of my deck. They know if I'm drawing a burn spell or not. They have more information about this game than I do. They get 2 draw steps before the top of my deck is relevant. 3 draw steps. Okay, I hope that last bobble that got popped was out of fear. How'd we do? Okay, they conceded. They didn't find what they wanted, and oh wow, invasion. Count it. That was an invasion win. I don't think I'm changing anything about my deck here. I don't have a Shattering Spree or any way to remove Chalice on 2. We're just gonna have to take a game on the draw now. Wow, this hand. Okay. Chalice on 1 slows me down a bit, but I do have 1s, 2s, and 3s. Urza Saga. Urza Saga, go. Okay. Didn't immediately lose to Chalice of the Void. I'll take that. I'm gonna put my trust in Goblin Guide here. Get more damage across faster. Force of Will, pitching Thought Monitor. Okay. They're on defense mode here. Mulda 6, Force of Will. Ancient Tomb versus Burn. You got it, homie. Monastery, Swift Spear, and I think I just Lava Spike. Make it happen here. I'm saving my Chain Lightning for a construct that may or may not be holding Shadow Spear. Okay. They're spending 2 life here. Okay. Same thing. So they can skip making a construct, get Shadow Spear, equip it, attack for 3 lifelink. Or they can make another construct, tutor something up, and hope their 3/3s hold the fort. Okay, they're tapping Ancient Tomb. If they tutor Shadow Spear, then have another Ancient Tomb, I might actually be in some trouble. There's Shadow Spear. Do you have it? You turn to operate here before you start gaining 4 life. That doesn't do it. Didn't attack. That's smart. Mountain. I can cast 3 spells here. If I go Spike, Skewer, Chain, they're at 1. Can't tap their Ancient Tomb anymore. And I get a good attack with the Swift Spear in. Skewer, Chain Lightning. They have to block, which means they should double block if they're going to block at all. And that reduces the number of artifacts they have in play, which makes the lifelink smaller. Okay, this is still dangerous. The Shadow Spear could run amok, but they're going to need another non-tomb mana source to equip it. They had it. At least it wasn't an artifact land. That's an artifact, though. Shit, they're going to gain 5 here. That's trouble. Okay, this is going to be hard to get through. I need to draw Smash to Smithereens now. They bobbled me. I'm drawing Rift Bolt. That's not what I want. Guess I'm going to play Eidolon and suspend Rift Bolt. Try to invest in big action next turn. All right, go. You're going to be at least 10. Cheap artifacts they play will deal more damage than they gain. Like, it makes construct 1 bigger, but it takes 2 to get into play, so give and take there. A big one like Fire Blast or Price of Progress could still do it here. Uh-oh, maybe not anymore. Tapping Ancient Tomb, though, is kind of the same thing. They paid 2 life to gain 1 life. That is net damage for me. Chalice on 0. The hell does that do? That doesn't count a Rift Bolt. You just took 2 damage. Okay. Alright. They're at 8. I guess I just have to go upstairs and hope I draw Price of Progress. Price of Progress. Okay, we lose. That was a tight one. Got him to 1 and had to do some stuff. But okay, so 3-2 record, or 2-3 record. Kind of unsurprising considering we took Burn and just put 4 blank pieces of cardboard in instead. We had some fun mana clashing, but obviously this card is not good, not reliable for anything. I think it dealt 7 damage once, but that was 4 of it was to me. And we literally lost round 1 because this wasn't just Chain Lightning or Rift Bolt or Skewer the Critics, just something that does 3. Yeah, the Uro match we lost fair and square, 8 casts we lost fair and square, and then the Stoneblade matchup, which would have been our positive record, we lost specifically because we had a Mana Clash in our deck and cast it. We had our fun, we rolled some dice, flipped some coins, whatever it was, and the result is this sucks. But we did not 0-5, we didn't even 1-4. We put a genuine 2-3, half your money back on the board, and I'll take that. Abe, the experiment is over. We played Mana Clash, and now I'm done playing Mana Clash for the rest of my life. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon, and I'll see you next time.